Hello guys, today we homebrew toast beer. The name of this kind of beer is decided by the bread that the first man that tried was using. So the bread from the toast. You can use any kind of leftover bread. The important thing is the bread should be dry. If your bread is not dry but is leftover still mushy, you can dry using the oven, maybe 1 hour, 90 Celsius degree, more or less your bread will be dry. Or you cut in small croutons and put under the sun. But my bread is already dry. Now I read you the ingredient. For this recipe I will use 1 kilogram and 100 gram of Pilsner malt, 350 gram of leftover bread, very dry, like you can notice from the sound, 5 gram of wild hops collected by me in the fields, and 6 grams of Styrian Dana, and you can use brewing yeast or the yeast leftover that you collect from a previous fermentation. This is yeast collected from my perfect recipe that you already watched it here on the channel. The pot is already on the stove. You need 5.5 liter now and 3.5 liter later for the sparging. Like you can notice, there is something coming out from the pot. It's the BIAB technique. Many of you advise me to use it. It's a grain bag, but in my case it's a pillowcase, cotton pillowcase, because every time I forgot to buy it, now I'm using a simple cotton white pillowcase. Don't say this to other viewers, especially the professional one, because for sure they will complain. Now we check if the temperature of the water is around 50 Celsius degree. If it's like that, we can add the grain. We keep stirring and the fire on until we reach the temperature of 65 Celsius degree. After we add the bread, we turn off the fire, cover with the lid, and we should wait 60 minutes. After 60 minutes, we turn on the stove and we should reach the temperature of 78 Celsius degree. And we do the same with the other 3.5 liter of water. We should reach 78 Celsius degree. When we reach 78 Celsius degree, we turn off the fire and we should wait 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, also the 3.5 liter reach 78 Celsius degree. So now we can wash our grain and our bread. So I will remove the bag, put in this colander, open a little bit, and pour the hot water, the 78 Celsius degree water, on the grain and on the bread. In this way we collect all the sugar. Collect all our worts, we put on the stove. We should reach the boiling point before we add the hops. The grain you can use as a food for your chickens, especially if you put the bread inside, they will be even more happy. I don't say anymore that I bring to Mario, because last time that I mentioned, after the, wait a moment, the fox passed by and killed 8 chickens. So be careful to the fox. When the water starts boiling, we can add the hops, 5 grams of wild hops and 3 grams of Styrian Dana hops. After 50 minutes, we add other 3 grams of Styrian Dana hops and we boil for other 10 minutes. So in total 60 minutes. After we remove from the stove, we put in the sink. We drop the temperature faster than we can. When we reach the room temperature, we put in the fermenter. original gravity 1038. Now I add the yeast, I close with the lid. On the top of the lid there is the airlock. When the fermentation starts, I will update you. After 24 hours, the fermentation, like you can notice, is running very well. The works here in the studio are running very slow, but don't worry, I will finish the studio too. About the fermentation, when the fermentation will stop, I will update you, because we should put the beer in the bottles. After 1 week, like you can notice from the airlock, the fermentation is complete. Before we put the beer in the bottle, we check the final gravity, that is 1010. If you remember, the original gravity was 1038, the difference is 28, divided by the coefficient, that is 7.5. The alcohol content at the moment is 3.7, plus we add the sugar for the refermentation in the bottles. So the final alcohol content will be 4.2. So easy beer to drink, perfect for the summer, so you can drink 2 bottles instead of 1. Why the final gravity is a little bit high? Probably some substance in the bread is not easy to ferment, but we will know when we will taste it in few weeks. How much sugar you should put in the bottles? I will put 5 grams, because my bottle are half liter. If you have other bottle, you need to make the proportion. Remember, not more than 10 grams per liter, so 10 grams of sugar per 1 liter of beer. Remember, you can do also 8 grams per liter or 6 grams per liter, will be enough, but I like very sparkling. Who follow the channel know. With this ingredient I made 5.5 liters of beer. I don't know if you have noticed, I put a piece of wood like this under the fermenter. In this way, with the inclination, we can collect all the beer but leave the yeast on the bottom. Now we can collect the yeast, close in a jar like this, and store in the fridge for at least 6 months. The yeast you should store in the fridge, but the beer at room temperature for at least 2 weeks, because now they need to re-ferment in the bottles. So see you in 2 weeks for the tasting. And I will taste this beer with a toast, with ham and scamorza cheese, smoked scamorza cheese. But first the beer. Really spectacular. It's a little bit sweet, probably some sugar from the bread was not transformed in alcohol, and is perfect with a toast. Okay guys, remember to subscribe to the channel, to leave me a like, to watch and share this video with your friends. If you have some requests, some advice, always down in the comment. I don't know if you have noticed, the foam is not persistent, but bravo the one that invented, because it's a good taste. Plus, like you can notice, there is another fermentation going on in my fermenter of Aigulu, a lager, and the same ingredient at room temperature, so instead of lager will be an ale. See you in the next video. Bye bye.